What's going on, everyone? Azai back for another video, and welcome to 2042. Yeah, it's like one man arm.
Yo, you still have the motion sensor?
Yo! You got a double kill with the grenade launcher.
Oh, nice.
Let's go. Yo, bro. On the fence, on the fence. Yeah. Let's go.
Whipping this. We out.
You know?
I'm noticing a lot of people using snipers now.
I just got a it's got a triple kill on a hovercraft.
Nice.
They rolled up. I just dumped on them with the LMG. What's up, everyone? Hope you enjoyed that intro. We are here today to bring you some top 5 tips for beginners to Battlefield. I've been playing Battlefield for some years now, starting with Battlefield 2 Modern Combat on the PS2, where I played a little bit, but I really got into Battlefield with Bad Company on Xbox 360. Then moving on to Bad Company 2 and eventually Battlefield 3, 4, 1, and 5, etc. And I know that a lot of new people are coming to play 2042 since this is the first modern Battlefield since Battlefield 4.
But Azai, the last modern Battlefield was actually Battlefield Hardline, released by Visceral.
And before you say anything, I did not forget about Battlefield Hardline. I actually did play Battlefield Hardline. We don't really talk about Battlefield Hardline. In some ways, it is underrated with its customization, with its guns and everything. But I really didn't put much time into it because we all know that it's really a Battlefield 4 reskin. But that's okay. So I know a lot of people are coming over from COD, looking at Battlefield like, what's going on? And I'm hoping I can share some of my experiences and what I've learned over the years playing Battlefield to newcomers to the game. While this particular video is geared towards beginners, experienced players may learn something as well, so stick around. And I will be coming out with more in-depth videos for advanced tips and tricks for Battlefield 2042. Without further ado, let's dive in. Starting with number 5, we have vehicles. If you didn't know already, the foundation of what makes the Battlefield experience is vehicles. They kind of are the bread and butter of the franchise, and that whole land, sea, air aspect to the gameplay is what makes you feel like you're actually immersed into the game, because you have so much going on around you, from helicopters to tanks to transport vehicles, and everything combines together to make an experience that's pretty much unlike any other game. Because of this, the importance of vehicles cannot be understated. It's very important to have a pilot on your team and in your squad that can pretty much know how to fly or maneuver any type of vehicle that you guys may come across, so that you can conquer the battlefield. New to the franchise is the call-in tablet, something that is very useful and very essential since they doubled the player count from previous games from 64 to 128 players. The call-in tablet is used to essentially call in support from wherever you are, which will drop a vehicle or drone. In this case, me and my boy Maze are calling in the hovercraft from the sky, where it will land at a point of your choosing. The default buttons for this are holding LB and RB on console and the B button on mouse and keyboard. But I switched mine to caps lock. Utilizing the call-in tablet is critical. With maps so big in 2042, you have to traverse a lot of land very quickly in order to get to certain points where you will be engaging the enemy. And it's always good to have a vehicle for your squad on hand so that you can engage the enemy or even escape if you need to. Now, you're not required to use the call-in tablet, and you're not required to use a vehicle either, but you will be stuck out in the open. And with the size of these maps, you'll just have to
Run.
play the game long enough and you'll see that being caught out in the open with a bunch of vehicles just looking at you like a chicken with your head cut off is a very quick way to get tilted. So I highly suggest you try to utilize vehicles the best way that you can. Even if you're not a good pilot or even a good driver, not unlike myself, my friends often tell me to get out the driver's seat so they could drive and I'll gun. You can always repair. There's always something you could be doing. You could be a gunner, you could be a spotter, you can be a repairman. All of these support roles when it comes to vehicle combat are very critical into success on the battlefield. And even if you want to take the time to become a better pilot or driver, actually 2042 now has bots on offline mode that you can actually practice against, which is great because I'll be practicing my flying skills, which I'm, to be quite honest, terrible at. Practice makes perfect, right? And when it comes to combating vehicles, don't forget that you have many tools at your disposal. You have the recoilless M5, you have the FXM anti-air missile, you have the SOFLAM, you have C5. There's many tools that you can use to your advantage when you're playing as infantry against vehicles, and get to play around with each vehicle to know their strengths and weaknesses so that when you're not in them, you can know how to play against them. At number 4, we have situational awareness. Now, situational awareness, or SA for short, is something that you probably already do. If you come from other FPS games, you just probably don't know it. This is a term used to describe how engaged you are with your surroundings. So on Battlefield 2042, you do have a lot of tools and UI elements at your disposal to be able to know exactly what's going on around you at all times. Obviously, you have your visual, what's right in front of you. You have audio cues such as the team commander, enemy dialogue, gunshots, footsteps. You have your mini map where your teammates can ping locations. You can also spot enemies, which will show up on the mini map. You have HUD elements such as how many friendlies are on the flag capping with you, as well as enemies in the area. You can also see when your location has been revealed to the enemy. So being engaged with the game and knowing exactly what's going on with you at all times is very important to finding success while you're on the battlefield. Knowing how much ammo is in your magazine before you have to reload. Watching the kill feed to see if your squad mates took out the enemy that just took you out. To left, one shot. All in all, situational awareness is being fully engaged in the game so that you are playing to the best of your ability. You're in the game. You're fully immersed in the game to the point where you don't have to think about what you're doing. You just kind of go into a flow state, if you will, and then before you know it, you'll be one of the best soldiers on the battlefield. Up next at number 3, we have the 2 Ps.
What do you mean by that?
Look, man, get your mind out the gutter, okay? I'm not talking about that, and I'm not talking about the PP29 either. Dice, nerf it, please. I'm talking about positioning and the plus system. Let's take a look at this clip as a basic example of exactly what I'm talking about. In this match, I'm playing Hazard Zone with my squad, where we're playing on the map Kaleidoscope, and we have to go into an underpass to gather one of the data drives. After we gather the drive, we notice that another team located at the end of the tunnel starts to push towards us. The only thing is, they made a huge mistake. They literally only have one car as their only cover with no escape route. Once you commit to that tunnel, you are down there and you have to run all the way back to the end just to break line of sight. So we took advantage of this. Notice how we assessed the situation. we didn't immediately push. We kind of waited to see what they would do first, and then we're able to capitalize on the situation. We used cover to our advantage, and we're able to just go to town. They really had no chance. And this is where the plus system comes in. This is a new feature integrated by DICE to the franchise that allow you to change attachments on the fly to suit whatever combat situation you may find yourself in. Notice how I'm able to push up with smoke coverage. I quickly switch the attachments on my N5 for a CQC build, and we push up and finish them off. GG easy. The goal is to assess your environment and utilize whatever type of cover you have to outsmart, outthink, and outposition your enemy. And sometimes in this game with these vast open maps, you don't have a choice but to be an open field, but you have to utilize what you can and make the best of the situation. Combining this thought process between positioning and the plus system, depending on where you are and where your engagement is taking place, is it close range, is it mid range, is it long range, you can kit your gun and ultimately your plus tree to suit different engagements for different combat scenarios. Finally, if you can master the 2Ps and be able to effectively combine both at a high speed without having to think about it, like muscle memory, you'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with in the field. At number 2, we have knowing your specialists, which really means knowing your strengths and knowing your weaknesses. What is your preferred playstyle? What specialists are you bringing into the fight? What loadout are you choosing? These are the questions you have to ask yourself before going into battle. Knowing your role in the fight and playing up your strengths will lead to great success. Maybe you want to run Dozer and be on the front lines with a ballistic shield to push back the enemy.
There's so many people behind you. Can't spawn on you.
Or perhaps you'll be an AR wielding Pike with her EMG-X scanner to be able to see enemies through cover and smoke. Or maybe you're just a great driver like my boy Maze, bobbing and weaving behind enemy lines. His body.
Here. Is that right here?
I see him, bro. I'm on it. I'm on it. Yes, sir.
Right side, right here in front.
The way his body just flew. Nice.
Out of here.
Nice. Or maybe you're a Sundance main.
Nice.
The goal here is to experiment with each specialist, combining their unique traits and gadgets in tandem with your loadout choice to be able to be the best asset you can be for your team.
Grab this! Tango down! Enemy fire team is down.
And finally, at number 1, we have the most important thing to remember when you're playing Battlefield. And that's teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. You ready?
Perfect.
I'm gonna start locking them. Shout out to my boy Moist with the 5-piece. Oh!
Peace.
Yo! That was like 5 kills. I got like 5 assists.
Yeah.
Yo, that was nuts. Everything mentioned before has led to this. Working as a team is at the heart of the Battlefield experience. Without camaraderie, without your team, you guys are nothing. This is by and large the most important thing to remember when you're playing this game. Are you spotting enemies? Are you repairing vehicles? Are you pushing forward together? Are you healing each other? Are you providing ammo to each other? Are you communicating with your squad? Are you reviving each other? Are you guys working together? Even the little things. Are you telling your squad mates thank you for risking their life just to revive you? All of this matters. Every single moment matters. The teams that do this the best are the teams that will overcome their enemies. Simple as that. This now brings us to the end of the video. I hope I was able to provide some insight from someone who's been playing Battlefield for years now, to someone who may be new to the series and trying to jump in and see what it's all about. While this game does have some minor issues, okay, let's be honest, it does have a lot of bugs, but I've been having a lot of fun, alright, in the last week. And I definitely think that this game has a lot of potential going forward. And if DICE can continue to be as transparent as possible, as seen in their Twitter feed, with fixing bugs and vaulting items that are broken and balancing stuff, I think this game will turn out to be amazing in the time to come. Subscribe if you want to see more 2042 content in the future, and like the video if you enjoyed it. If you disliked it, let me know why so I can improve in the future. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And remember, God loves you, always. Stay safe, stay blessed, peace.